hopefully this feels aspiring. Like this feels like, wow, that workflow looked and felt fast. And hopefully I gave you that same feeling there for just a moment of what a fast editing experience looks like. Because I just did a whole bunch of stuff and I technically didn't practice that. And so, except for the merge conflict, that's the only thing I knew. And so it all worked out. Hey, it all worked out. This probably even works. You know, I'm sure if I just resourced it, everything would just work first try. But we won't do that now. All right, I think that's about it. I think that's the end of the Vim fundamentals. Plug clean. Yeah, plug clean just simply, you want me to explain? Let's see, is there any other commands for plug? There are commands for the plug, but even some plugins have their own defined commands. If you look up Conquer of Completion, it actually has a bunch of stuff that it does. But if you're talking about plug, the Vim plug plugin, it has a few other ones, but I honestly only ever use plug install and plug clean. How plug clean works is you remember inside, here, let me close Pavu control. If you remember inside of here, all of these plugins, whatever's inside of here, by the way, I mean, you may have noticed right away, look, Python, auto formatting for Python, right? Like everything's already available. So anything that appears between here, if I delete any of them, and then this is what happens between these two, what's going to happen? It's going to go, oh, hey, this is missing from your plugin list. Do you want to delete it, right? And so that's what plug clean does. Plug install just simply, after this thing has been executed, it will attempt to see which one of your directories don't match the plug install. And that's all it does. It's actually pretty straightforward. That's fun. Hey, thank you. Hopefully, let's see, quite late here, but thanks. Yeah, no problem. Hopefully it was, if you're late, that's probably good because a lot of the beginning stuff, I think if you're from the stream, which it sounds like, then you probably at least have some vague familiarity.
So two questions.
Yeah.
One is that when you use an LSP, you add extra dependencies outside of Vim. I know you just bootstrapped your laptop with getting it back up to speed and everything. What are some patterns that you found for success of getting your editor up and going on a new system?
Well, so there's a couple of things there. First, there's like the new system itself. I'm going to explore doing git bare repos and the .config folder, right? So that way my XDG config home or whatever it is, I can actually like just clone right into. And not even symlink. You can clone. I believe git bare repos. I have to go follow. There's an Atlassian. I know I hate Atlassian. Everyone hates Atlassian because of Jira, right? We all unfortunately use a company that created Jira, and so. But they have a walkthrough on how to do these bare repos for being able to do better .file management. And so I'm still working on that. So that's like the bootstrapping of a computer. But the Vim stuff, I have all of my Vim stuff all nicely placed. So if you'll notice that I actually have it quite a bit different, I have a bunch of these extra files. Like here's all my mappings for Harpoon, right? I have them all kind of bi-filed. And what that effectively does, it allows it, and I take advantage of what is called Vim's runtime path. I didn't go over that, but Vim has a runtime path just like your computer has a runtime path, right? So if you try to execute, say, NeoVim, it looks on your computer's path to find it. It goes, in order until it finds the first one. Vim does effectively the same thing. At the boot, it has a series of runtime paths it looks for until it finds its RC. Once it finds its RC, you can add in more runtime paths, or you can have specific folders in specific locations that will get automatically sourced. And that's what I do. So I take every one of these and put them into right now I'm symlinking into my config. So I have this plugin folder. So if you have, inside of config nvim, init.vim, if you have in the same folder a plugin folder, it will automatically source every one of those Vim scripts for you. Lua does not get automatically sourced, but if you have a Lua folder, it will put that into the runtime lookup for Lua. So notice that I do require the Primeagen. It will actually look in all Lua folders for a folder called the Primeagen or a script called the Primeagen.lua, and then it will, if there's an init Lua, it will automatically execute that. So I have everything commented out right now, but I can actually set up all of my Harpoon to be able to be all Lua driven because it's a Lua plugin, right? So this is going to be me slowly moving my setup into Lua, and that's kind of how I do it. I have my own repo, clone it down, symlink it in right now into my .config, and then when I open up Vim, it just works. I currently make NeoVim, so we do this NeoVim bragging to see who has the latest version of NeoVim. It's going to be pretty embarrassing if I do this, but NeoVim, oh my goodness, git pull origin master, or git check, git fetch, right? Git fetch. Oh gosh, this is going to be so embarrassing. Git checkout master, oh no. Oh. Oh no, I'm 51 commits behind. Oh, this is just a travesty. On the internet, I'm 51 commits behind. Git checkout, origin, master. And then I just make and then sudo make install, right? And I just use Vim, the most bleeding edge of NeoVim, just because it has all the sweet functions. I can't do sudo make install because you're going to see all my sweet passcodes. But yeah, and so it's just fun to be on the latest for me because it has all those really nice APIs. Like nvim buff is valid is in the 5x branch or the bleeding edge branch. You can't get it by doing a brew install. And so I'm always living on the edge. And it's been really, really good. I've actually really enjoyed using the latest. And that's effectively my workflow setup. Is something super simple as that. Just symlinking and going. Though I am considering something different. See, what's the benefit to Vim over Emacs? Is it purely preference? Effectively, I'd say more and more at this point it becomes more and more purely preference. Just because Vim or Emacs has evil mode, which is Vim mode. I don't know how one-to-one it is because I haven't used Emacs in depth enough to know if it is one-to-one with Vim, but Vim has its own, eccentric ways of doing things, such as quick fix lists. And if you use Emacs with the default key bindings, you're going to get carpal tunnel in like 5 years. Those things are terrifying, but nonetheless, like besides for that, if you all only use Vim, really you just have a different set of plugins, right? They even now have apparently Majit for Vim, so you can get the Emacs Git library now on Vim. So we'll see. Bye. Appreciate it.